So as you can see, here I have some text open in this German tool called Across, and I would like to actually translate it in something in some other tool, because Across is not really too much user-friendly, so I would like to translate this in, say, Trados. So unfortunately there is no straightforward way of exporting all the text from Across, so what I can do is to actually go to this tool, which is called Bohemicus, and I can go to this Trados/cats tab and to Across here. And what I can do now is to click this check projects, and this will actually load all the projects from Across. As you can see, they are now right here, and my project in this case is named Kettle YouTube. So I just click this and I click show content. And as you can see, this is the very same text when you compare it to Across, and it's now loaded into Bohemicus. And now I can just very simply click this export to Trados, and I can just export it to my file. So maybe I create a new folder for it, and I name it as Kettle YouTube, and I just click save. As you can see, it will be saved with this SDL XLIF extension. So I just click save, and export was successful. And what I can do now is to actually go to this folder, and as you can see, in this folder it's already prepared in this Trados format. So what I can do now is just to double click it, and it will open in my Trados Studio. And as you can see, it's opened in Trados Studio. When you compare the texts, they are pretty much identical. And of course, now I can just simply start translating. So I'll just translate it quickly. I can use Bohemicus for that. Machine translation. So let's translate it just very quickly. So as you can see, now I have translated something like almost a half of this text. It's very quickly machine translated. And now when I want to re-import it back into Across and to finish it there, so there is one very important thing I need to do now. And I need to connect a translation memory for this. So I already have something connected, but I would like to create a dedicated memory for this one. So let's just quickly create a memory. And now what I need to do is to actually update this newly created memory. So I just click this update main translation memory. And I will also update the project translation memories, because I never know which one is actually which one. And so now these memories are now updated, so I can go back to this memory and I can just export it. Because translation memory is now the only means how to get the text back into Across. I admit it's not too much straightforward, but this seems to be the only way of doing it, because Across is a very closed system. It's very cumbersome, very difficult to use, and it just creates all sorts of problems. So the translation memory is actually the only means of re-importing it back into Across. It's the only means, at least known to me, what I was able to figure out. Okay, so now let's create export. Let's create it to my desktop. Kettle YouTube, and let's export it to this TMX format. And it's been exported 29 units, so it's pretty much okay. And what I can do now is to go back to Across. I can perhaps close this file here. So now I am in Across, so what I can do now is to import this newly created translation memory. So for this, I click this cross tag manager, and I click import translations. I just go through this process. I select the file to import. That's the newly created kettleyoutube.tmx file, which I just created, exported from Trados. So I just find it here. I think it's yes, it's right here. I click open. And I just keep clicking next. It should get imported. Yes, start import. Yes. Okay, there seems to be some error, but I think it will hopefully work. Alright, so we have imported it, and we can now open our file, which is this kettle YouTube. Open our task. As you can see, it's been imported. And what I can do now is to actually pre-translate this file. So I just pre-translate it. I click pre-translate. And close. And as you can see, some of these segments have been nicely reinserted back, but unfortunately not everything. So as you can see, these are just 97% matches. So what I can do now is just to retrieve them from memory. Just this one is 100%. I can just quickly retrieve it from the memory. I just press always Alt plus page up to quickly retrieve it from the memory. So, as you can see, this somehow works, and I could just keep clicking and pressing Ctrl Alt plus page up. As you can see, this somehow works, but it's far from idle. And especially if you have some formatting or if you have some tags in your text, then this will be far from idle. So maybe if you have lots of formatting in your text, then you will be better off to just do it in across. But well, if you have just a text in plain text format, then this could be an option how to actually do this, how to actually translate the Trados and across text somewhere else, for instance in Trados or in memoQ, and how to re-import it back.